The desert night was quiet outside a small ranch in Arizona when Daniel finished his chores. Years of loneliness had made silence his companion. As he turned toward the cabin, a soft knock echoed. At the door stood an Apache woman, calm yet determined, her presence unexpected under the pale moonlight. She introduced herself as Ayanna and spoke plainly. She said she wanted a child and a stable life, not charity or pity. Daniel was taken aback by her honesty. He had never imagined such a request arriving unannounced at his door after years of solitude. Daniel invited her inside, offering water and warmth. He listened carefully, sensing her strength rather than desperation. Ayanna explained she had lost her family to hardship and displacement. She sought partnership built on respect, not convenience. Her words carried weight, not impulse. The night passed with conversation rather than decisions. Daniel shared his own story of loss, of a life shaped by work and restraint. He had closed himself off from hope, believing his path was set. Ayanna's courage challenged that belief quietly, without pressure. Over the following days, Ayanna stayed nearby, helping on the ranch in exchange for food and shelter. She worked with purpose, understanding land and rhythm. Daniel watched trust grow through action rather than promises. The ranch felt different, less empty, more alive. They spoke often about responsibility and choice. Ayanna explained that wanting a child meant wanting a future grounded in safety and values. Daniel respected her clarity. He realized she wasn't asking for rescue, but for partnership, something he hadn't considered possible anymore. Time moved slowly, allowing space for thought. Daniel struggled internally, weighing fear against possibility. He had always believed family required perfection, something he felt incapable of offering. Ayanna believed family was built through commitment, not flawless beginnings. Winter approached, bringing long evenings and shared meals. They discussed boundaries openly. Nothing was rushed. Daniel appreciated the patience. He saw that Ayanna valued consent, stability, and mutual respect above all. That understanding eased his doubts and built trust steadily. One night, Daniel admitted he was afraid of failing as a father. Ayanna listened quietly and replied that fear often meant care. She said children needed presence, honesty, and love more than certainty. Her words stayed with him, reshaping his view of strength. They decided to move forward carefully, agreeing that responsibility came first. There was no romance rushed by loneliness. Instead, there was planning, medical care, and shared accountability. Their decision was deliberate, grounded in realism and mutual consent. The ranch slowly transformed. Repairs were made, a garden planted, routines established. Ayanna brought traditions that honored patience and balance. Daniel brought structure and protection. Together, they created a home defined by intention rather than impulse. Months later, when Ayanna learned she was expecting, emotions were mixed with joy and gravity. Daniel felt the weight of responsibility fully, but did not retreat. He committed himself to learning, preparing, and becoming present in ways he had never allowed before, and quiet judgment. Daniel learned to ignore whispers. What mattered was the peace in his home. Ayanna faced scrutiny with dignity, teaching resilience by example. Together, they modeled unity built on respect. As the pregnancy progressed, Daniel discovered a new sense of purpose. Each day carried meaning. He read, asked questions, and planned for the future. The idea of fatherhood no longer felt like loss of freedom, but the gain of direction. Ayanna shared stories of her culture, emphasizing respect for life and balance. Daniel listened, realizing that raising a child meant blending values, not choosing one over another. Their future child would inherit strength from both worlds. When the baby arrived, the moment was quiet and powerful. Daniel held the child with trembling hands, understanding that life had changed irrevocably. Ayanna smiled, knowing her courage had led not just to birth, but to belonging. The ranch filled with sounds Daniel had never known. Laughter, cries, movement. Exhaustion came, but so did fulfillment. The silence that once defined his life was replaced by purpose and connection. Years passed, and the child grew strong, surrounded by love and stability. Daniel became known not just as a rancher, but as a devoted father. Ayanna found the family she sought, built on choice rather than circumstance. Looking back, Daniel realized the knock on his door was not an interruption, but an invitation. Life had offered him a chance to grow beyond fear. He was grateful he had chosen to listen. Ayanna never regretted her honesty. She believed that courage meant asking for what mattered most. Together, they proved that family is not always planned, but it is always built through trust. The desert still stretched wide around the ranch, but it no longer felt empty. It felt full of meaning, life, and continuity. One knock had changed everything, turning loneliness into legacy.